Hello everyone. In this video I'll be listing some soft tops in BL series. The first on the list is Cake from My Only 12% the series. I think anyone that watched this series knows how gentle and sweet Cake and you were towards each other. Cake would always make sure he's okay and no one takes him for granted. He's been that way with him from they were friends and even more so when they started dating. The scene where he complimented every part of his face, I think it was one of the most beautiful scene ever, not to mention when he gets jealous and starts sulking. Next is Dean from Until We Meet Again. In this series, we see that Dean is often cold and at times nonchalant towards others, but when it comes to Farm he smiles a lot more and it's funny to see when he gets jealous. He's caring, sweet, and patient with Farm and loves him very much. They're both introverted and sometimes shy around each other, especially Farm, but I love the dynamic between the two of them. Even in their past lives, despite Korn distancing himself from In Touch, you can see that as time went by he had a soft spot for him. Next is Fight from Why Are You? The series. Fight was the soft top to Tutor's power bottom attitude. We see throughout the series as their relationship progresses that Tutor had a lot of power in a sense in their relationship and that Fight would do anything for Tutor. The breakup scene was heartbreaking as he cried, displaying his vulnerability. It sort of reminded me of the breakup scene in Tharntype. Kongpabin Sodas and Sodas as the series was very patient and understanding with Arthit. Arthit was also a power bottom, so that was a good pairing. Despite Arthit's intimidating exterior, Kongpab was able to sweep him off his feet. We can't forget how soft-spoken Kongpab was, especially when he would speak to Arthit. He put in a lot of effort when he was courting him and continued to do so even when they dated. It's a beautiful thing to watch. I must mention also that when I think of soft top, I don't mean that they're weaker and are pushovers. I think soft tops also set boundaries and have respect for themselves as to not be taken for granted by their partner. I say this because despite Kongpab always pursuing and compromising for Arthit, he drew the line in Sodas when they broke up because he thought it was time for Arthit to fight for them and meet him halfway. Leo in Don't Say No the series is the epitome of soft tops. Their every interaction was Leo being smitten by Fiat. I think Leo was an all-round green flag. I love the scene in Tharntype 2 also when Leo and Fiat got into an argument and instead of leaving, Leo went to get Fiat on the stairs and then carried him inside despite his stubbornness. I think that scene could partially describe what their relationship was like before they both had the courage to express the way they felt about one another. So, one of the reasons I love Don't Say No the series was that despite their closeness in Tharntype 2 and when they became official, especially when we saw how they were in DSN, it was refreshing to see that they didn't rush into doing the deed. Also, when Fiat's past caught up to him, Leo was there for him and did everything he could to make sure that it wouldn't affect him as much. He wanted to protect him and he cherished him. Next is Gabriel from Game Boys the series. He honestly fell so hard and fast for Cairo. He gives in every time and is so sweet and kind towards him. Before Gabriel came around, Cairo didn't know what it felt like for someone to love him like that, and Gabriel tried his best to reassure Cairo of his sincerity. Charlie from Pit Babe was also a soft top. It was surprising to me that he was the top because of Babe's demeanor. I did absolutely love it though because it's like we see the other side of him every time he removes his glasses. When he's with Babe, he always does his best to make sure that if there's anything he can do to help Babe, he will definitely. While I didn't watch all of the series, I watched many of their clips together and they're both quite vulnerable when it comes to each other. In Charlie's case, there are times when Babe pushes him away and you find him yearning to reconcile. Next on the list is Hyuna from My Beautiful Man. Do I even need to say anything? He's his boyfriend's #1 fan and he'd do anything for him. He's a bit weird but Kioi gets it eventually anyways. Hyuna was deeply in love with Kioi and never failed to show it. For him, it's like the world revolved around Kioi. There are a few others I'd like to mention such as Xavier from Hello Stranger and Taesung from Cherry Blossoms After Winter. I was sort of hesitant to include Taesung because I didn't like when he shoved Hebam against the wall, but besides that he's quite soft towards Hebam. Even though Xavier and Miko weren't officially boyfriends in the series, in the movie however, there are moments when I think he gives off soft top energy. I would also like to include Nubsib from Lovely Writer, Tharn from Tharntype, King from Bed Friend, Leanne and Yi from Cutie Pie, Nuya from Secret Crush on You, and lastly, Peiyu and Propai from Love in the Air. That's it for this video. If there's any I missed or you'd like to include on the list, please feel free to leave a comment. Until next time.